I'm proof that you can work full time and train at a somewhat alright level.
Yeah.
At a somewhat alright level. I like it because it's a challenge for me to try and keep up with all the other big dogs while I'm still slaving away in the construction site.
What's up, guys? Today's guest is a parkour athlete currently visiting from Australia. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Mr. Fletcher Hansen. What's up, man?
G'day, how's it going? My name's Fletcher Hansen, like you said, and I'm 19 from Sydney, Australia.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, I love the outfit. I haven't seen that Storer jacket. Is that a new one? Is it an old school one?
That's actually a very funny story because they released it quite some time ago.
Okay.
And it's really, really comfortable and really, really warm as well.
Okay.
Which doesn't really suit the Australian weather, funnily enough. It's more of an English thing. But I had, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, Ernest.
Yes.
Tramp.
Ernest Tramp.
Crazy
We feature him on the Jam Breakdown sometimes.
Yeah. Crazy kid. He actually hit me up and he DM'd me saying like how much for the Storer jumper because he saw it on my story the other day. It was just really, really funny.
So what's the price right now, or is it priceless? You can't sell it.
It's unsellable. I gotta keep it. Now that I know that it's so sought after, I gotta keep it.
For real, man. I literally looked at it. I was like, damn, I want that one now. I wonder if it's available, man. Yeah, how many years old is that one?
I'm thinking 1 or 2.
No way.
Could be pushing
Damn,
2.
I slept on not getting it then.
I could be completely wrong with that. I could have just butchered that. But yeah,
concept of time is crazy, especially what's been happening in the world lately. Like, I can't believe that it's been 2 years that we've been dealing with this like pandemic, for lack of a better term. It's crazy how long it's been.
100%. I think it hit you guys harder first, and then Australia caught onto it a little bit later. But yeah, it's been quite some time.
Crazy, man. And so with that being said, like I mentioned at the start of the episode, this is you're currently over here visiting from Australia. And so what is it that brought you out here? You're currently out here with Michael Khedoori?
Yeah, I came here with Khedoori, and we basically, because I get 2 weeks off a year from my work. I work full time, and I basically said to him, man, I just want to travel. I just want to do parkour. I want to go somewhere. Originally, we were thinking Western Australia, like Queensland sort of way. But then he's like, man, let's just go to LA. Let's just go out there, meet with all the homies out there and just chill and train. It'll be epic. And I'm so glad I came over. It's been a mad experience.
Dude, and if I'm not mistaken, this is your first time in LA?
Yeah, first time in LA, in the US, and actually overseas to just purely train parkour.
Wow, that is wild. And so, like, what's your impression of LA so far for someone that hasn't been here before?
It's good. It's what I thought it would be because you see a lot of media coming out of here. So I was able to have a rough idea of what I was getting into, but it's not too far from what I'm used to because America's still very much westernized and everything's similar.
100%.
So it didn't take that much to adjust to it. I can still communicate like we're speaking now. Everything's fine. Everything flows really well.
Hell yeah, man. That is super, super cool, man. And so with that being said, like, I got to ask, where are you originally from? Like, I feel like I saw someone online. Are you from New South Wales, or where are you exactly from?
New South Wales, yeah. Okay. So Sydney. I'm not directly in the heart of Sydney. So Khedoori is in the heart of the city.
Yes.
He lives directly in the center. But I'm about 40 minutes drive south, west of the city. So a little bit further away, it makes it interesting to try and get out and train with people, which is where I started. I didn't really know anyone. I was just in my backyard, the classic in your backyard. Got a trampoline and then you just move everything to the ground and then it just works from there.
Crazy.
But yeah, I live out there. It's not too bad.
Okay. And now, like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think on your bio it says, 4th year of training officially? Is that it? Or how many years have you officially been doing parkour, I guess?
Parkour solely for 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. Because I originally did flipping and then I had an injury with my knee. I busted my ACL, which is a classic tricking injury.
Yes.
And basically with the recovery process of that, I was able to do linear forms of movement quite early on. So I had a conversation with a couple of the other parkour dudes, like with Dom Tomato and Khedoori, and hanging out with them, I just fell in love with this form of parkour where it's linear, it's just great. I get so much more satisfaction out of doing that than I ever did doing flips and things. Although I still love doing flips, like especially being out here with all these homies, it's been really, really fun. But it's just, the gratification that I get out of doing a jump is just
I mean,
so much more. I
your
love it.
Instagram handle is Fletch Flip, so like
you
gotta keep the flips in, right?
100%. Well, I always the goal is to mix it both. Obviously, you know, that's the main goal.
Damn, that's crazy. I didn't know that it was coming back from an ACL injury that got you into it. What's kind of funny is Bailey Payne, who you've had the chance to train with while we're out here, blew his ACL out after tricking forever. And for years, I had tried to get him to do parkour. He just wasn't into it. But as he recovered, he started just doing plyos and precisions. And, dude, now he's hooked on it. So
yeah, 100%. It's funny, though, because he busted his, I think, 2 weeks after I did mine.
No way.
So our paths have been very similar in terms of training and stuff. It's been really cool to see.
And now with the haircut, bro, like I said, I saw you guys standing next to each other. I was like, yo, whoa, what is happening?
Another pain, brother. Oh my goodness. That's what Dom Lewis was saying.
Yes, bro.
Hey, look, I've never cut my hair this short ever. I was so sick of my hair being so long. I'm just like, just get it out of my face. So I got it cut, and it's been great. I just haven't had to touch it. It's amazing.
Has it affected your training? Do you feel like you could see better or move better? Like,
oh yeah, I can definitely see better because like the long hair isn't in front of my eyes anymore. Yes. Oh my gosh,
that's funny, man. Oof. And so yeah, just going back to like your training journey then. So you said only 2 years in parkour, and so what was it that you did before? Was it tricking or was it just backyard tramp? Like, what exactly started your movement journey?
It was a little mix of both. There was a lot of backyard trampoline and tricking on the ground. Okay. Yeah. Because I got some land back at home, like we have property, so I have the land to actually achieve these things. So it just made sense. I always like to do front flips and backflips on a trampoline. So I just thought to myself, hey, look, this is really cool. Let's try and do it on ground. And then it just from there, like doing it at school, I had some mates that would do it with me. And I just fell in love with it and just kept going. And then every single afternoon, I jump on my trampoline every single afternoon after school. I just loved it.
So just like completely self-taught? Did you have any friends that would train with you? Or how'd you study? Did you watch YouTube videos? I feel like there's a couple of schools of thought when it comes to like getting into our sports, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's definitely no known gyms around, at least local to me at that time that were teaching it.
Okay.
I taught myself everything that I know. And basically, a bit of YouTube as well. A lot of YouTube because there wasn't really anyone else that I could train with around my local area that I could sort of vibe off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It helps to train with other people, and that's why I make the effort to, drive that 40 minutes or have that 13-hour flight to LA.
Totally.
to train with others because it's just so beneficial.
Yeah, and it's always crazy to see the different backgrounds. Your story is very similar to like my story because almost generation ago there just wasn't gyms back in the day, and so like we all had to learn just by trial and error, kind of throwing ourselves around, seeing little glimpses of people. But then just to counter that, like we had Khedoori on here, and he started as an apes like gym rat essentially, like completely in the gym bred, and then made the conversion outside. And so yours is a little different.
It's interesting to see the correlation and the ethics in terms of like what I want to do. All I want to do is just move at the end of the day. Like if it's flipping, if it's parkour, if it's like doing a handstand, I just want to be moving and using my body because, I'm an energetic dude. I just like moving,
So did you do any organized or formal sports before the trampoline and all the flipping at all? Or is that kind of like your first one?
I did tennis.
Oh, wow.
I did tennis for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I did it. And I was all right at it and did comps like every single Saturday. At the local tournaments and stuff. I didn't really see it going anywhere because I was all right, but I wasn't at that level where I could see it, going into professionalism. But I still enjoy doing it every now and again.
Okay.
Just the other day, I stepped on a court and it was so much fun just to whack a ball again.
Sick.
But yeah, in terms of sports, that's pretty much the only sport that I played outside of school. You have your school sports that you do at school, and I was heavily involved with those. But yeah, it's pretty much always just been flipping and things,
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, so I got to ask then, because we've all been joking about it the entire trip you've been here. How the hell did you develop these massive legs of yours
What do
then?
you mean? Oh,
What do you mean? This guy's wearing shorts because he can't wear pants that blow out, bro. Look at these quads and calves.
No, I didn't pack any long pants. I packed like 2 pairs of long pants because I'm just so used to the Australian heat.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because that's just from where I'm from. If you wear long pants, you're doomed from the moment you try and do anything exercise related. So I just packed all shorts. But in terms of the legs, like it's just mainly genetics. I don't lift any weights
Nothing at all.
No, I don't go to the gym or anything. I just do jumps, and blessed to have good genetics. Like my mum's side, her genetics is very much. They've got the quite thick quads.
Wow.
And their legs are quite strong. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's just, I don't know. It's just how it is. Everyone reckons I do weights or roids or something like that. I just like, nah, man, just do jumps.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And so, like, predating your ACL injury, I don't mean to bring up a bad topic, but I bring it up just because it's something that commonly faces a lot of athletes in our sport, and sometimes it's good for them to kind of hear about it. So how did you exactly tear your ACL, and what was it that injured you?
It's quite an interesting one because I originally tore it at a competition. Like there was I'd say local, but it's about an hour and a half drive away from my house, and there was a competition running. I don't think they do it anymore, but at the end of my run, I did a double full off like a little vault box, those vault boxes, onto concrete, and I landed it, but I sort of over rotated it a little bit, and it's just all that force down on that joint, and it just gave way, and I felt it straight away. For a second, I thought I could keep going. I'm like, oh, wait, no, I can't. So I just hobbled off. And then the next day, because it only really kicks in the next day.
Yes, bro.
Because the same day when you do it, you can sort of walk around.
You can still kind of, I've known, I've torn my knee and I was able to walk the same day, and the next day couldn't walk. Yeah.
Yeah. And I went to a doctor, I got all the scans and stuff, and it basically came to the conclusion of, I've partially torn my ACL. So I didn't fully tear it at this stage. But then at that time, I just started my apprenticeship for Carpentry. So I couldn't afford to, get the surgery and start this apprenticeship, and already asked for like 3 to 4 months off. Like that was just, I couldn't do that. I had to stay committed to the decision that I made. So I decided to leave it, and you can function without one. People do function without one.
I have a friend that has one without one still, but it's crazy.
It's sketchy, but it's doable. And in my mind, I'm like, I'll take that risk. I'll hold off doing all the movement. At least that's what I told myself. It's very difficult to do that, but I left it for a year. Did my thing, and then pretty much it was almost exactly a couple weeks off, like to the year after that it first happened. I was doing some flips at the beach, at a cool beach spot in New South Wales near Sydney, and I basically did like a scoot double full, and then I popped a full. I have the video.
No
it's insane.
Way. Brutal.
And at the end of the line, I decided to do another scoot double full, and upon landing on that one, it landed awkwardly. I got lazy in the flip. There's a whole bunch of reasons, but at the end of the day, it happened again, and it popped and it slipped, and the sound is insane. Like on the video, you can hear it, like the pop. It's crazy. Like Khedoori was actually there as well.
No way.
And he was standing like 50 meters away, and he said he still heard the pop.
No way.
So crazy.
Damn.
But that happened. I'm like, oh no, this has happened again. So I basically just told my boss, I said, like, look, I can't come into work for a couple of days. Like, I'm sorry, sort of thing. But he was straight onto it. He said to me, is it your bad knee? Because he knew that I had knee issues in the past. And I said, yeah. He's like, all right, get it fixed. So from then on, we went the private way, and then we went and got it done pretty much straight away. Around September, November, like at the end of the year. And then, it was just a recovery process from there, a couple of months. Yeah.
Wow. So you had full surgery?
Yeah, full reconstruction of the knee.
Okay.
Like they took a graft from my hamstring.
I was going to ask where they took it from. Okay,
yeah,
there you
from
go.
my hammy, and they put it back in place where the ligament was. And,
okay.
Yeah.
And so how many months of PT did you have to go through? Did you go to actual physical therapist? Did you do it on your own?
I went to a physio for a while, a really good one that I've used a couple times. And I cannot give you a time. I was so terrible with this. I can't give you a defined, like how many months it took or weeks. But I know that I did rush back into it fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Like moving and stuff, because I wanted to just fast track that so bad.
Of course.
Hated being in my bed. It was one of the worst experiences of my life. Not the pain, not any other, not financially. It was just the thought of just being in a bed, not being able to move. It's just the worst thing ever, Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
That is wild, man. And so at this point in your career, like, do you do anything special for it? Do you find that it ever hinders you or like causes you to second guess your movement? Or do you think the transition to parkour is like giving you confidence in it?
Yeah, that's a good point. The transition to PK definitely gave me more confidence in it. It allowed me to do, still have that air time, but, still controlled to the point where it's not going to hurt my knee. Recently I've been, stretching it out a little bit more, seeing what I can and can't do. Like the other day I did a double full to concrete again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just to... I was skeptical of doing it first, but just if all the technique's there and I have adjusted it, it's completely fine. So I did that and it helped mentally with the progression of getting back into the flips and stuff. But it's really interesting. It's quite interesting.
Now that I think about it, when we were here at Jam the other day, when you went to do triple fulls off the ledge, I saw you with a knee brace for the first time ever.
Yeah, I put it on because it makes me feel like it's stronger.
Okay.
I know it probably does jack all, but like
but mentally.
It helps and it does it. It wraps around your knee and it makes it feel a little bit more secure. It wouldn't help that much. But just in the back of mind, it just helps me.
Super cool, man. No, that's crazy. I think I'm so impressed with a bunch of things. One, that you came off of ACL surgery.
Yeah.
And two, that you're at this level within just a couple of years. And I only say that in the sense that, like, the people that you train with are very high-level athletes that are very well known throughout our sport and throughout the entire world, for lack of a better word. So who is it that you train with the most regularly, if that makes sense?
I'm very blessed to be able to train with Khedoori and Dom. Like they feed off each other and I'm able to sort of just grab a bit of that and train with them. I train with Khedoori heaps. Like he's like my best mate. We do so many things together. Even though he lives so far away, it's not that bad. Like a 35-minute drive is not that bad. Yeah. It's not that bad. And worst comes worst, I just stay at his place or we make plans. We go to a certain spot or we want to check out a certain area. Like, in terms of a training partner, I train with him the most.
Okay.
But I still manage to train with a lot of other Sydney people that are quite talented as well, including Dom. I've been very blessed to know Dom as well because, he's one of the dudes that got me into the sport. I remember when I first watched, like, The Art of Motions.
Yes.
Looking through the roster, I'm like, is there any Australian in this sort of thing? And then I saw an Australian, it was Dominic Di Tommaso. I'm like,
totally
cool, that's sick. And I'm seeing what he's doing. I'm like, this is so cool, Like, it's someone I can relate to. It's not a sport that's foreign to me anymore. It's a sport that's local and that I can sort of bond with because someone from our home is doing it, internationally.
Yes.
So yeah, he's played a big part in my journey sort of thing. And he's been very, very supportive of me for some reason. Like he found me ages ago when I was doing flips in my backyard.
No way.
Like he was following me ever since then, like up to now. I don't know. He must have seen something, but I'm very grateful that he supported me this whole time.
Yeah, that is cool, man. And I think what you said speaks to like so many people that they don't realize the impact that seeing someone from where they're from on a world stage can really do for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's one of the coolest things about competition is that it can, like you said, inspire some kids that were like, holy crap, there's a guy at a Red Bull Art of Motion that's from like where I'm from,
Yeah, even if he lands on his face, it's still sick.
Yeah, he hasn't ever won one, to be honest with you.
I don't even know if he's won a competition. I'm more than happy to be wrong, but
totally. Now, not that I know of. I know when I used to host the Red Bulls, he never did, and sometimes he would even have to make the on-site qualifier, which was really crazy because he obviously was such a pivotal figure in our sport. But yeah, sometimes he had to make online qualifier. Yeah. I'll never forget. He used to last one, I think you did 720 roll in mid run, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that was not easy to throw in mid run, bro. That was crazy.
Yeah.
He's a nutter.
It's really cool. It's he's taught me a lot of valuable things.
Yeah.
Especially do with the sport. But him and I are similar in the way that we just want to jump. You know, we just want to move, and that's what we want to do.
And so, like along the lines of Red Bull Art of Motion, you're someone that's only 19 years old right now. Have you competed in any competitions, or do you have any desires to compete on the world stage, or are you more so just someone that does it as a practitioner for fun?
That's a good question. I don't know at this current time because I'm still doing my apprenticeship.
Yes.
In carpentry, which is a big thing to say because a lot of the things that I do, I have that in the back of my mind. So even when I'm doing a triple full off a ledge or something, I always have to be cautious and careful of what I'm doing because I still have a responsibility back at home to finish this job that I've started. It's not good to think of the job like that.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, the normal route is to finish the apprenticeship and then move on and then, you know, work for that person or just do that career because it's a career thing. And I'm sort of just being small-minded with it, saying I just want to finish this and then go on to other things. But in terms of competitions and stuff, it's at this current stage probably not. I'm not looking for them. Like I'm not actively trying to go to competitions or am interested in competing in them because every time I've hurt myself. But that's just a me problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely in the future, I'm more than happy to.
Okay. And so with that being said, obviously, like I want to get to your apprenticeship in a little bit because it's something so unique. We don't really do that here in America, so I got to ask more about it. But along the lines of, like you said, it's kind of always in the back of your mind and you have to balance it. How many days a week do you get the chance to train? Like how often do you get to train while you're balancing work?
1 to 2 days a week.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't get to train much.
Mostly on weekends or when do you fit the time in?
Mostly on weekends, yeah. Saturday if I'm not working, and Sunday for sure, definitely.
No way.
It's crazy. It's hard to explain because not a lot of people get it. And I never play victim. I never say, oh, I work so hard sort of thing because that's bull. I don't mess with that. But I physically don't have enough time to train. Like I'm working from crazy hours to crazy hours doing 24-hour shifts at a time. I don't have time to train a lot of the weeks. So whenever I'm out, I go as hard as I can or train for as long as I can, you know. From sun up to sun down, I want to train.
Damn, that is crazy to think about, man.
Yeah.
That's something that also like I really respect because in a lot of ways, most kids at 19 years old aren't focused upon that or their future or falling back on it. If anything, they're just kind of short-sighted in the sense of like, oh, I want to be a pro athlete.
Yeah.
And they kind of pursue that if they have the opportunity to financially, you know? So along the lines of your apprenticeship, how did that go about? How long have you been doing it for? And like, how did this come about? Because in America, we do the traditional. We go to high school, you finish high school, and if anything, you get a job or you go to college and then you hopefully get a job from there. So how does this work back over there?
So how it works is you can have the option to start an apprenticeship and you can do that at the end of our year 10. I'm not sure how that translates over.
How old are you at that point?
16.
Oh, so that's pretty close to ours. We go to year 12 and you're usually around 17, 18 at year 12 for us.
Yeah.
So similar.
So 16, you can start an apprenticeship. You can do it earlier, but there's a lot of paperwork and not many kids do it. But I left school at the end of year 10 when I was 16 to start a carpentry apprenticeship. So like carpentry building, which is pretty much like if you look above here, there's there's all this timber work and all that sort of thing. But what I do as a job doesn't necessarily reflect what I did at TAFE, which is I think trade school is what you call it here.
Yeah, we do have some trade schools.
Trade school, yeah. So basically 2.5, when you start the apprenticeship, it's 2.5 years at trade school.
Okay.
And 4 years on the site.
Wow.
You can do that at the same time while you're doing it. So once a week, I would have trade school. I'll just call it trade school. And actually, funnily enough, when you say about having time to train, on that trade school day is a guaranteed day that I'd finish at like 3:30.
Okay.
So on that day, I would work at a stunt gym in the afternoon. That's semi-local to me, about 20-25 minute drive away. MDG Studio and Film. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Mike Duncan or Jackie Murray.
I know the name Jackie Murray.
She worked on Shang-Chi.
I know the name. Yeah,
recently.
100%. Yeah, haven't met officially, but know the name. Yeah.
And Gold with Zac Efron
Okay,
recently
okay.
as well. But yeah, they have a gym out close to me at Narellan, and I'd work there every Tuesday
Sick.
because that was a guaranteed day that I'd have off work. Like I would know I could make it. But in terms of the process, I'm 3 years into it now. So I've been doing construction work for 3 years.
Crazy.
And I have one more year to go before I'm fully qualified tradesman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really cool. It's been interesting. It's been real bumpy along the way, but I've made it so far.
So 2 questions. 1, what made you choose carpentry at such a young age? And then 2, like how many hours a week are you putting in at this apprenticeship? And do you get paid for it?
Yeah. So you get paid for it. It's a full-time job.
Okay.
So I'm earning like good or right money for
awesome.
my age. Although apprentices, they don't get paid much, but the hours that I'm doing sort of works out for it. I think the most hours that I've done in 1 week is 90 hours.
Damn.
Which is
double a normal
pretty
40-hour
insane.
work week, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. It's, a double a normal working week plus 10 hours. That's crazy. Because of what we do is commercial, so it's not residential.
Oh, okay.
It's not houses. It's everything that's not houses. So your hospitals, your shopping centers, your airports. It's just things that like to do works at night. So we do a job during the day, and then they'll want us in for an emergency at night. So we'll be like, okay, yeah, we'll go in and we'll do it.
Wow.
So it's the game that we're in. So we just gotta toughen up and get it done. Pretty much.
What made you choose carpentry of all the things out there that existed?
It was the opportunity was there because the boss, he lives just down the road.
Okay.
So my dad knew him. So he was a mate of my dad's, and through that, the opportunity to leave school was there because I didn't like school and I wanted to leave as soon as I could. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's take it. And I knew the decision was a big one because 4 years is a lot of years of your life. But I knew when I'd finish, I'd be 19, 20. You know what I mean? And that's still really young.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also knew that if I wanted to pursue this sport professionally, I needed a sort of a backup as well. And not just, it'd be good to go in like, balls to the walls, just straight to it. Yeah. But it wouldn't be smart in the sense because it's an ever-changing world, like with COVID and everything. Totally. That just shows that the world can change at any second. One thing you always need is a builder. You always need people who can build things, build all these structures. Totally. And it's a good trade to have. And I've built my own setup at home as well. I was going to ask if you use the skills for yourself for parkour blocks and stuff. I've seen the blocks on your page. I've built a lot of setup. Wow. Just from like timber that I've had at home and timber that I've gotten off site or bought or whatever, because I have all the tools to make everything, and I love tools. I'm addicted to tools. I love Makita, which is a tool brand. Oh, totally. I know Makita. 100%, dog. Yeah. So with that addiction comes the ability to build whatever I want. Wow. The only limitation is the money and the materials. That's the only limitation, to be honest. Wow. And so that's really good, I guess. And so just like, excuse my ignorance because I just don't know the school system over there. You made the decision to leave at year 10 when you're 16. How long would you have had to continue on if you didn't take that route and went the traditional route? Do you go year 12 or how many years is it? You go to year 12. So that's 2 more years in the traditional schooling environment. There's 2 more years, and then from there they encourage you to go to university. Which is college. And that can be whatever. That can be 4 to 5 years, depending on what course you do. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool the path that you chose in the sense that, like you said, you would get out of it and still only be 19, 20 years old and already be ready to just go straight into working. So when this apprenticeship ends, what stands next and what does that allow you to do? Do you still have to work for the same boss, or does it give you a certification, or what I guess comes about at the end of the apprenticeship? Yeah, well, I get a qualification to say that in terms of Australia, I am a carpenter. Okay. In terms of what's next, it's really hard to say because I always get caught up thinking about that. And at the end of the day, I need to just focus on finishing the apprenticeship. Yeah. Because if I get caught up thinking about all those things and what I want to do and like the dreams and stuff, it can hinder my performance at work, which isn't good, because now more than ever I need to perform at work more than I need to perform on like an international scale, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just not the right timing to fully delve into parkour and movement. But it's I try and keep my options open. I wouldn't mind delving into the stunt realm a bit, because I have contacts into that way.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Okay.
Especially get qualified in Australia.
Yeah.
As a stunt person. I could even possibly, I could build a gym if I wanted to, you know. I'd have the knowledge to build a gym. The business side, I'd need to probably take a course on or be lectured in. I would just absolutely love to do what Dom and Khedoori do, where they basically just use their Instagrams and their social medias to promote companies, brands, you know, just all that route, which what a lot of the homies here in LA do as well. And provide content for them and do all that sort of stuff. I've had bits and pieces of packages of work that I've done for fashion wear companies, and recently Reebok hit me up, which is really cool. But I just can't do it because I'm in this apprenticeship and it's really difficult.
And that's what I was going to ask you, is because, yeah, obviously the people that you train around have, they're, for lack of a better term, professional parkour athletes, in the sense that that's what they do full time, all day, every day.
That's what they do.
And so I just wanted to know, like, if that came about just because, you know, I guess your video started to take off or your Instagram or your TikTok blew up, would you put Carpentry on the back burner?
If I after the apprenticeship.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't think about that sort of stuff until after the apprenticeship, because otherwise the last 3 years of my life would have been wasted.
A waste of time, right?
Like, there would have been no point of me doing anything at all the last 3 years of my life if I gave it all up for that.
And so what's the official end date, or do you know like when the month is that you're done with the apprenticeship?
2020, like the end of 2023, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, around October is when it finishes.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
That is super cool. It's super unique as well. Like,
no one else is doing it. No one else is
100%.
doing it. And no one else can sort of relate to the processes that I have to take while training. You know, it's crazy. There's a guy in Brisbane, Liam Cressy.
Okay.
He originally from the UK. Like used to train with all the Stora boys and stuff.
Yes.
And he's come here and he's doing the same thing. He's doing carpentry. So I can relate to him a bit. Like we have good convos about it with bosses and stuff, and how they what they think about what we do, and because you know they don't get it. They don't understand that. Yes, we are putting ourselves in quite dangerous situations, but at the same time we're controlled in what we do. You know, so. Yeah, it's an interesting situation.
Yeah, that is
Unique.
super cool, man. I am kind of a big fan of it in the sense that, like, I personally went to college. I got a degree, had some of the best times of my entire life. But, like, let's be honest, what I do now, I don't use my degree at all.
Yeah.
And I honestly could have been in the industry 4 years earlier with way less student debt, no student loans, a lot more brain cells from not partying and stuff like that. And and like, I just wonder sometimes, like, as I get to my age now where I'm older, time is so valuable to me. And I kind of wonder, like, damn, should I have gone to college, or should I have done something like yourself where you kind of bet on yourself at a young age to pursue a career path, you know?
Oh, it's difficult, you know. The benefit of hindsight is a crazy thing,
Totally.
and it's something that can help you. But at the end of the day, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
The decisions that you make now, it's just your emotions and thoughts and what you think at the time. You're never gonna know where it's gonna truly lead.
Yeah.
I guess that's just a fact of life.
100%.
You know, yeah.
100%, man. No, that's super dope, dude. I honestly, like I said, I bring people onto the JAMCast all the time because obviously it's movement at a foundational base and core that binds us together and why we're on here. But each person's unique story like that is so personal to them, and you never know like how many kids out there listening may need to hear what you're doing just to kind of change the path of their lives. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just I'm proof that you can work full time and train at a somewhat alright level.
Yeah.
At a somewhat alright level. I like it because, you know, it's a challenge for me to try and keep up with all the other with all the other big dogs while I'm still slaving away in the construction site. It's fun.
That's crazy
It's
to me.
a fun challenge.
It's crazy you only get to fit in a couple days of a week for training at the very
Pretty
most,
much.
if that makes sense.
At the very most, yeah.
That is crazy. And so with that being said, obviously it seems like time is something that you don't have an excess of or a surplus of, if that makes sense. But when you do have free time, are you someone that like is obsessed with watching videos of parkour? Is there anyone that you watch for inspiration, or just getting to train with Khedoori and Dom? Is that enough for you?
When I do have free time at night, because if it's daylight, I'm outside doing things.
Yeah.
Or if it's raining. I like to watch a lot of parkour videos and stuff. I'm pretty sure I've watched majority of them. Not a lot of American ones though.
Yeah.
Dominic Hughes has been showing me a lot of American ones.
Okay.
That I haven't seen.
Mostly UK guys then, probably.
Yeah, a lot of the media from the UK. I'm influenced by, you know, your Modus, your Storm,
Fat.
Team Fat, Stora, all of them. And even back home, we used to have a couple of dudes that made a lot of cool little movies and videos that I like to look back on because it's like history of Australia, like Sydney parkour and stuff. I was influenced heavily by Team Freerunning. They're probably
okay.
the top people that I was watching all the time.
Yes.
And still do when they put out stuff.
Yeah, right. I know. They're all spread out around the world. It's crazy.
Super difficult. I get it. But yeah, it's been really cool to meet Pasha.
Yes.
I met Pasha on this trip, and to see him in person and doing what he does, it's just really cool because that's just pure passion. You know, same with Dom, like all of the Frang dudes, they're doing it with passion.
Yeah.
They're passionate about the sport, and they support it. And I sort of related to the message of what they were doing, sort of thing. And yeah.
Hell yeah. And so like with that being said, like I had no idea that you don't get this many days and chances to train a week, but you still put out a crap load of clips, for lack of a better term. Like we feature on the Jam Breakdown all the time. So how do you have so many clips? Are they just stockpiled up, or like do you get a bunch in a day? Like
yeah, pretty much. I just go hard on the days that I'm training. I just try and get as much stuff as I can. Yeah. You know, I have Monday, Tuesday to recover, you know, the next couple of days afterwards, like it hurts at work.
Yeah.
Like the legs hurt and the backs hurt at work. But it's a healthy balance in terms of I'm not destroying my body. In my humble opinion, I'd probably destroy my body more if I worked in construction as a career than parkour as a career.
Really?
Because construction is an interesting one, because I think in what we do, especially, but a lot of other structural trades. So there's things called structural trades. It's a term that I first heard in American news actually, and it's like the formation of the building, like on the core.
Yeah.
It's the steelworks.
Yes.
It's the concreters. It's the form workers. It's all those dudes that are really using their bodies every single day. Like that's hard yakka work.
Totally.
And we do a bit of that. We don't do it all the time, but when I do it, it's interesting to see, because all of these older dudes, all these older blokes, like they're super strong, but they're not taking care of their bodies. Like you wouldn't see a tradesman or a journeyman stretch before he goes to work.
Totally.
It's just interesting because it's not a common thing you'd think about, but after a day's work, I like to stretch and do all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just because that's what the body needs.
Okay.
But if I was doing parkour as a career, you'd be able to notice when your body's hurting. You'd be able to recoup and rehab it.
Yeah.
A lot more normally, rather than just going to work the next day.
100%.
You know? It's an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, super interesting, man. Damn, that's crazy. Like I said, that's a cool thing about these is this is something from the outside, from watching your Instagram, people would have no idea about. It's in your bio, but like they have no idea what it truly entails, you know?
Nah, that's all right.
Yeah, all good.
Expect everyone to know.
Super crazy.
Just the way it is, you know? At least at this current stage of my life, it's just the way it is. And I'm young, I can bounce back from it. So I can afford to completely be tired all the time, you know?
Yeah, 1000%, man.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool. And so, like, with everything that's going on in the world right now, obviously you're about to head back over there and resume your normal job and stuff like that. Do you have plans to continue to travel the world and meet up with other people, or
Sure.
what's on the timeline coming up?
For sure. So I fly back to Sydney tomorrow. Then I got another week off work.
Okay.
So I'll probably go to Dom's house and I'll probably just stay there the whole time because he lives in the city. So I'll just stay with him.
Okay.
And we'll train every day, see what we get up to. And then I'll go back to work. And from then on, I have no clue when I'll be able to travel again.
Wow.
Because like I said, at 2 weeks at the end of the year, it's getting shorter every year, but we have holidays. We have holidays 2 weeks at the end of the year. So at that time, I'll definitely go somewhere. I don't know where. I might even come back here. I don't know. I like this place so much. I'm definitely going to be back. But I just, especially this year in general, I have no clue where I'll be. I would love to travel. I'd love to travel everywhere if I could, but I just can't because I have that responsibility back at home.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And so, like, when it comes down to your personal style and the way that you approach movement, like, I think it's kind of cool that you do get to train with someone like Khedoori, who he basically used to flip. Now he just is really focused on the parkour stuff. Yeah. But then you get to train with someone like Dom, who is always throwing a bunch of flips as well and pushing the limits of stuff. So, like, what do you define your own personal style as?
Oh, I like to try and delve with everything, you know. I like trying the big jumps and I like trying the big flips as well. I don't know. I really want to diversify my movement so much.
Okay.
I don't want to be contained to just one thing, you know.
Yeah.
I want to be put in any sort of situation and be able to, you know, show what I can do, sort of thing. Which relates back to the streets, and when you're on the street, you know, if you have a unique puzzle you need to solve, I call them puzzles. But a unique problem you can see, and just being able to work it out and see what you can do there. You know, it's a good skill to have. Like Khedoori's taught me well in terms of mental when it comes to jumps and things. Yeah. Which, and when I say that, it's more like you see something super massive and just he'll come up and say, "No, it's not that bad," sort of thing. Which I've adopted as well, which isn't the best thing, but that's just the way it is.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay.
Super happy I've been able to train with them and learn from what they can do, but I also want to push more into the flipping side of things as well. Yeah. Put more flips into big lines. I just think of it like I would love to do capstone level movement with flips and things in it, you know? Yeah, yeah. Which they would claim isn't capstone, but it's like that's the sort of vibe I'm going for. I feel you. Okay. Yeah. Is there any moves or any challenges that you have on your bucket list? Dude, now that you say that, it's very funny because I just thought of that when I finished that sentence speaking to you. The one that Justin destroyed his shin on. Yes, that one. I'd love to do that play. I think that'd be cool to do. Wow. Has anyone done that? No, right? No one's done it. That's why it was in the capstone video. Yeah, pretty much. That was the whole premise of capstone. Like no one has done it before, and be the only person to do it. That was the. Have you looked at that spot in person? Yeah, I've been there in person. I didn't. I did have a look at it, and it's on. It's definitely on, but it's a hell of a lot of impact. Yeah. It's a lot of impact. It's a big commitment, as we saw what happens. Like, holy crap, yeah. That was just a freak accident. Yeah. Like, I know he made the distance. I know Justin could make that. Yeah, he made it. He just slipped on one foot, yeah. Crazy things. Yeah. Capstone is the type of movement that I fell in love with in terms of parkour and stuff. Okay. Like that sort of mental, you know, the physically being able to do it, but it's just blocking out that mental aspect holding you back. Being able to overcome that. Yeah. Okay. And so, this is a little off topic, but I have to ask you because it blew my mind. And so I feel like other people around the world wouldn't know this. You told me a story about how you lost your license because a camera caught you on your cell phone. Yeah. And so I just want people out there, especially our American audience, that people like myself are on our phone all the time. Oh, please break it down. What is the difference out there with your driving system as far as that's concerned? Well, It's absolutely startled me because everyone that I've been in the car with this whole time has had their phone out, like right there.
That's what I'm saying.
Like doing their thing. And I'm just thinking, because there's no way you can get away with that on Australian roads.
Yes.
So when we have a lot of tunnels that lead into the heart of the city.
Yes.
And in basically all of those tunnels, they have cameras hanging from the ceiling, and they can look directly into your car.
Oh, okay. Through the windshield.
Somehow they can pick up if you're holding a phone, which is just, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that works, but they can pick up if you have a phone. So essentially I was driving and I was messaging someone at the time, and I think I was late for someone. I think it was training or something stupid. And it caught me on the camera. And because I'm on my provisional license, which is basically the license that you get directly after you finish your L's, like your learners.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if it's similar over here. I think it's a bit different.
It's a little similar. Khedoori kind of explained it, but like initially at a certain age, you have to have someone over a certain age in the car with you at all times, right? And then you can graduate on to driving by yourself, but it's only like certain hours and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. So because I was on that type of license, I don't have many points to my name. So the license has points dedicated to it, and the fines give out points. So if you have 5 points and you get a fine with 4 points, you obviously have 1 point left.
Wow.
So I got caught and I lost all my points, and then lost my license for 3 months. So that was fun as well.
3 months because they caught
3
you with
months,
your phone, dude.
Just because I was on my phone and I'm on my P's. It's instant loss of license.
Me and all the homies out here would have lost our licenses instantaneously.
Yeah, but that's a me problem, because I was in a tunnel and I should have known.
Yeah.
Out on the roads, the cops can get you for it.
Okay.
They can pull you over. A lot of the dudes that ride the motorbikes,
yes,
they get you because they'll be right next to you and they'll look into what you're doing.
Yes.
They can catch you straight away.
Crazy.
They got cameras on their helmets and stuff, so they'll be able to deal with you.
Crazy. Yeah, that story just blew me away, man. I had to bring it up just because, like I said, I was so shocked when you told me that, because we were in my car and I was just autopiloting, and I'm on my phone 24/7, man, like all the time,
crazy.
Watching YouTube, doing my thing, trading stocks sometimes.
It's crazy. I don't get it, because I just don't know how they can see that you're on your phone.
I know.
Like, what if you have a passenger and they're on their phone? What is it going to pick that up as well?
Yeah, I wonder if you hold something that looks like a phone, but it's not a phone too. Like, that'd be an interesting test to see if you just hold something that looks like a phone, but it's not. And then if you ever get busted, that'd be crazy.
Like, hold a receipt or something.
Yeah.
It must send signals to, I don't know. It stumps me.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
And those cameras can have the ability to pick up your speed as well.
Wow.
That is interesting.
Crazy, but a lot less accidents over there. I heard it's a little safer driving, as far as Khedoori's opinion as well. So,
only being here for 2 weeks, I've seen 4 accidents on the road.
It's common, bro. It is common. That's why when people ask me, like, why do you trust your autopilot? I'm like, honestly, I think it's better than most humans, because humans are doing stuff like we said, being on their phone, doing things like that.
That's very true.
Yeah.
But I never see accidents.
Wow.
Hardly ever.
Crazy, man.
Hardly ever.
Crazy, man. Well, yo, man, more than anything, I think this has been one of the coolest experiences, having you and Michael over here the past couple of weeks to finally get the chance to, like, put a face to the name that we used to see online and on the jam breakdowns, and then, to get the chance to take you to some of the local spots and see you guys just absolutely destroy a lot of the normal missions and stuff has been great, man. So hopefully we get the chance to see you again sometime.
100%. I want to be back. If I get the opportunity to come back, I will definitely come back.
Hell yes.
Yeah, I love it out here. It's good fun.
That's awesome, brother. And so this is a question I always ask people before we get out of here, and just curious to get your answer, because you're so young that you have, in my opinion, so many years ahead of you. So be interesting to see. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now, and then where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
5 years? Wow. Even 5 years is a stretch. I don't know. Hopefully doing some really cool stuff.
What
doing
about
some really gnarly stuff.
Okay.
Don't know what I'll be doing as a job, but just out there moving, doing gnarly things.
And then what about 10? Is that too far?
10 years, man, that is like foggy. Dude, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know, that's foggy. There's so many things that I could do in my life. I have no idea where I'll end up.
Okay. Fair enough.
I could end up living out here. Who knows?
Never know, right?
Who knows?
Pain brother number 3, you know.
Pain brother, just the the next pain brother. That's good.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, yo, more than anything, thanks for making the time to come through here, especially on your last day before you head back.
Sounds
And
good.
I'll continue to watch your journey online, man, and continue to see what happens over these next 5 years and 10 years from now. It'll be dope to see.
Thanks, man. I
Hell
appreciate it. Yeah.
So, yo, before we get out of here, can you just look in this camera and tell people where they can continue to follow you and stay up to date with your own personal journey and everything you got going on?
Yeah, pretty much I upload almost everything I do on my stories and my feed on Instagram, which is at Fletch Flips, I do have a TikTok at Fletch Flips as well, but I don't really use it as much. But most of my media comes from my Instagram, so you can follow me on there. Yeah.
Hell yeah. With that being said, guys, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe for brand new episodes each and every week. Join us every Monday for Jam Breakdowns and every Friday for brand new JAMCast, interviewing influential members of the movement community like Mr. Fletcher Hansen himself. So with that being said, guys, give everyone one more very special shout out. Thanks for coming through, man. I really appreciate your time.
It's all good, man. Thanks for having me.
Hell yes.
Thank you.
And as always, guys, coming through, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Thanks for joining us here on another JAMCast. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. Peace.